How you guys doing today? Good. It is a beautiful day for what the forecast was saying earlier. But I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Nikik Napasis. That means Otter Boy. I'm Cree from Saskatchewan, Canada, out of the White Bear Reservation. So what we're going to do here today is we're going to show you the different style of dancings that we have at our powwows today. A lot of these dances that you're seeing here today, actually all of them, are all competitive style of dancing today. We are all contest dancers, and what we do is we go from weekend to weekend, and we compete at powwows for prize money, much like a rodeo. So whenever you see like the PBR rodeo circuit, the powwow circuit is pretty much just the same. It goes weekend to weekend and all year round. So because of the limited time we have with you guys, I'm going to go ahead and show you each one of these dances and explain a little bit about these styles. So the first dance that we're going to do is known as the men's traditional dance. Now this dance is one of the oldest dances that we do at powwows today. You'll have to back up a little bit here, it's pretty sketchy. But this dance right here is, like I said, is one of the oldest dances that we do today. It's pretty much originated by the Northern Plains tribes of the Midwest, around the Dakota territories on up into Canada. Now, the way of this dance was the only people that had done this dance were warriors that did this. And what it was these warriors would dress in their finest clothing, and what they would do is before hunting trips, before battle or anything like that, or special occasions, what they would do is they dress up in their finest regalia, and they would act out what they were doing, if they were hunting, if they were looking for something, if they were in battle themselves. And it was, like I said, it was a celebration dance for these men, and it was a chance to basically express themselves through dancing. So this is known as the men's traditional dance. Now if you look at his regalia is very, very modern. You would not be seeing this type of regalia in the 1800s. Most definitely not. The bright colors and everything. So some of the stuff that you do see on his regalia that you would see a long time ago, like the breastplate on his chest. Now that is called a breastplate, and what that was it was basically a way of having armor on. So when you were in battle and somebody shot you with an arrow, your hopes were is that it would hit one of those bones and bounce off your chest. So it was definitely a way of protecting yourself as you were going through battle like that. The deer toes on his legs also are very old style, as we call it. Our modern day bells that we use are pretty much like cowbells but smaller, and what it's for is for used for the dancers and the judges. When you dance, they're able to hear you dance and see if you're dancing in time with the beat, as one way of judging you. A long time ago, it was a way for the dancers to dance for them to know that they're dancing in time with the beat. His bustle on his back, a long time ago, we would have those bustles too, eagle feathers. You would use hawk feathers too. A long time ago, there's more meaning to that bustle. Each one of those feathers had to be earned. No matter what you did, you had to earn these feathers, no matter what. Whether it be through a courageous act, you earned it in battle, or you did something very, very good for your family. Either way, you had to earn every single feather that you wear on there. So they would make these bustles very intricately, and for each one of those feathers, depending on how big your bustle was depending on what kind of a man you were a long time ago. So this dance is known as the men's traditional. The men's traditional. Now, just to, I want to explain a little bit to you guys about what we're singing and about the singing that you're hearing here today. Now, the type of drum that we're using here is known as a big drum, is known as a big powwow drum. Now, it's typically used to hold, to have about anywhere between 10 to 15 singers on them at once, singing the same song at the same time. Now, this wasn't the only instrument that we had. We also had hand drums. We also had flutes, and typically those styles of original music instruments. Now, the songs that we sing for each one of these dances, we just didn't want to sing, any song for these dances. We had songs for pretty much everything that we've done. So the traditional dance, that was a warrior's dance. So what you would want to do is you'd want to sing a warrior song. But because warriors are dancing and it's meant for a warrior, you'd sing word songs or songs that had words in there talking about the warrior or basically honoring that warrior. And the way with Native American people is that we hold our veterans, our warriors, in very high regard. It's a very special thing to us. The words in that song, Okeechobee, my language, means warrior. And what that song was saying was, warrior, warrior, come dance with us. The people are with you. That's basically what it was saying over and over every verse. So it was about that warrior. It was definitely about that warrior and saying, come dance with us. And it was a way of honoring that. So let's go ahead and give our veterans and our warriors a round of applause. If it wasn't for them, then, we probably wouldn't be here today. So thank you guys, every one of you guys out here. So the next dance we're going to show you is known as the women's jingle dress dance. This dance was originated around the mid-1800s and maybe even later. What it was it was originated by the Ojibwe people around the Great Lakes and all up into Canada, around Minnesota Territory, Michigan, and on up to Ontario. Now, originally, this dance was a very, very special holy dance. It was a healing dance, is what it was. And if somebody was hurt or sick or was going through something in the tribe, these dancers were obligated to dance for these people and say prayers as they were dancing in hopes that they would be healed. They would be healed for sure. And so a long time ago, if you look at the cones on her dress that she's wearing, those cones would be sewn onto her dress. Now, a long time ago, before we were introduced to those cones, we used deer toes. Deer toes would be sewn onto that dress. And then later on through trade, we would get the snuff can lids from Copenhagen lids. That's a true story. You'd get those, we'd trade those, and then we would roll them. And we would roll them into cones, and then we would sew them on the dress because we really liked the sound they made. Now, on the dress, originally you're supposed to sew in 365 cones on the dress to represent 365 days in the year. Now, typically you would sew on 4 more to represent the 4 directions. Now, if you really wanted to be in tune with that dress and the way you dance, what the girls would do is every cone that was sewn on, you put a prayer in that cone. And then from there on, everything that you did on that dress, you would say a prayer, and then you'd use that dress to help other people. This, like every dance here, all the dances have evolved into competitive style of dancing, but we still remember about where that dress comes from. So behind, for our own people, we do this dance at different gatherings for people that we need them to. This is known as the women's jingle dress dance. now, they go and do this dance. So with all those women there doing that dance, it really is an awesome sight to hear all those dresses, all those jingles going at the same time. So the next dance we're going to show you today is known as the Women's Fancy Shawl Dance. Now this dance, like I said, one of the oldest styles that we do here is the men's traditional dance. It's been going on for a long time with the Native American people. Now like the women, they also have a proper dance. Now their proper dance was known as the women's traditional. Just like the men's traditional is called the women's traditional. And what it was a slow style of singing to it, and what they would do is that shawl that was on her back, they would fold it over their arm, and they would dance to a slow beat, very proper like. Well, to make a long story short, these women, that only worked for so long with them. They wanted a faster style of dancing, something that they can really move to. So this dance has evolved into what is known as the women's fancy shawl. So what they did was they took that shawl and they put it over their back, and they asked their drums to sing a much faster style of dancing. So what it is they were able to dance fast and jump off their feet and use intricate feet work, and they really liked that. So from there on, it was a very popular dance and just evolved into one of the most vigorous styles women can do to this day, known as the women's fancy shawl. Women's fancy shawl. All right. Now, each one of these dances that you're doing, that we're all showing you here today, all these dances are only 2 push-ups. That's it, 2 verses of these songs. Now, in regular competition, you'd get 4. So each one of these songs and dances that you're seeing here today, you're only seeing half a song that you normally get. And then once you see that 4, they would have about 10 seconds. And then you go right into another song for another 4 verses. Typically in competition powwow, you would definitely get 2 songs in contest. Other bigger events, you probably end up getting 3. So, and those songs get faster. They get a lot faster for her. But so if you weren't in shape and you weren't in tune, you'd probably be dropping out. The next dance we're going to show you, is known as the hoop dance. Now, this is a very popular dance. Who here has seen the hoop dance? Just raise your hand. This is a very, very popular dance, well known through our Native American people. Now, to tell you the truth, the actual, I don't really know where this dance comes from. So a lot of people don't know where this dance comes. They all have their own versions of where they've seen it or where they've heard it done. But really, nobody really knows where this dance came from. But everybody adopted it. That's definitely, everybody adopted this dance. And this dance actually came about around the mid to late 1800s. This dance was started out with about 5 hoops, and then the dancer worked his way up to, I've seen them dance with 60. But that is a long hoop dance. But I'm not sure how many hoops you're working with. How many hoops are you using today, Amanda? 28 hoops today. Now she's very gifted hoop dancer. She's been all over. She's been across seas to do this dance. She's been to the Heard Museum, the World Hoop Dance Championships. I think she took 4th over there at the Hoop Dance Championship when she did go. She's been doing this dance a very long time. This is a very special dance. Now the whole meaning about this dance is basically to use as many designs with as many hoops as you can, or as many less hoops as you can. If you can do a lot of designs with only 5 hoops, that's pretty good. But basically what you want to do is you want to create a lot of designs to wow the judges' eyes. Now, if you guys make it back for the next program, she's going to have her own style of music that she does out here for you guys, so you guys need to come back and watch that, because she has her own style of dancing to her music. But for this show, we're going to show you guys the powwow version of her hoop dance, and then the next show, we're going to show you guys her own special version to this. Now, this dance has evolved into a very fast and a very moderate style of dancing, and don't be afraid to cheer her on and give her a round of applause as she makes these designs. It will just encourage her to dance harder and make more for you guys. This is Amanda in the hoop dance. Give her a round of applause. dance. Man, that's pretty good. I haven't hoop danced forever. I don't think I got a hoop dance like that again.